At first glance, it looks almost too cute to be real. With its giant eyes, tiny hands, and the way it clings to people like a baby, it's easy to understand why so many people instantly fall in love with the sugar glider. But strangely enough, there's one thing many people have noticed about this animal. For some reason, sugar gliders seem especially popular among girls. And honestly, once you understand their behavior, it starts making perfect sense. Because sugar gliders are not just exotic pets. They're emotional, affectionate, curious, and sometimes almost unbelievably clingy. In fact, many owners describe them as tiny living companions that constantly want attention and closeness. Which makes them feel very different from most small pets. Unlike hamsters or reptiles that spend most of their time alone, sugar gliders naturally bond deeply with the people around them. Some sleep inside hoodies, some hide inside pockets, and others refuse to leave their owner's shoulder for hours. Which honestly makes them feel more like tiny babies than exotic animals. And maybe that's one of the biggest reasons so many girls love them. Because sugar gliders create emotional attachment very quickly. They enjoy warmth, comfort, soft voices, and gentle interaction. And when they trust someone, they often want to stay physically close almost all the time. But here's the part most people never expect. Despite looking soft, innocent, and easy to care for, sugar gliders are actually very demanding animals. And unfortunately, many people buy them only because they look cute online, without understanding how much care and attention they truly need. Because sugar gliders are highly social animals. In the wild, they live in groups and spend huge amounts of time interacting with each other. Which means loneliness can affect them much more than people realize. A sugar glider left alone constantly without interaction may become stressed, depressed, or emotionally unhealthy over time. And this is why experienced owners often recommend keeping them in pairs instead of alone. Because for sugar gliders, companionship is not just entertainment. It's emotional survival. Another reason people become obsessed with sugar gliders is the way they move. These tiny animals can glide through the air using a thin membrane between their arms and legs. And the first time people see one jump and glide across a room, it honestly looks magical. Almost unreal. Which explains where their name comes from. Sugar because they enjoy sweet foods and fruits, and glider because of their incredible ability to glide between trees in nature. And despite their tiny size, they are surprisingly energetic animals, especially at night. Because sugar gliders are nocturnal. Which means while most people are getting ready to sleep, these little creatures are just waking up. Running, jumping, climbing, and exploring everything around them. Sometimes at full speed. And honestly, their energy surprises almost everyone. One second they're sleeping peacefully inside a pouch, and the next second they're launching themselves across furniture like tiny furry superheroes. But caring for them properly is much more complicated than most people think. Their diet alone can become confusing for beginners. Because sugar gliders cannot survive on fruit alone like many people assume. They need balanced nutrition including protein, calcium, fruits, and specialized diets to stay healthy long term. Poor diet can lead to serious health problems surprisingly fast, especially calcium deficiency, which can weaken their bones and affect movement. That's why responsible owners carefully research feeding routines before bringing one home. Housing matters too. A lot. Sugar gliders need tall cages with room to climb, jump, and explore safely. Small cages without stimulation can quickly lead to boredom and stress. And because they are intelligent, curious animals, they also need toys, climbing ropes, sleeping pouches, and interaction regularly. But perhaps the most emotional thing about sugar gliders is how strongly they bond with people. Some recognize their owner's scent immediately. Some sleep peacefully inside clothing because they feel safe there. And some even become upset when separated from the people they trust most. Which honestly explains why so many owners become deeply attached to them. Because sugar gliders don't just look cute, they behave in ways that create emotional connection very quickly, especially through physical closeness. And yes, their giant eyes definitely help too. Those huge dark eyes evolved for seeing at night, but they also make sugar gliders look permanently adorable. Almost like animated characters instead of real animals. But despite all this cuteness, sugar gliders are not perfect pets for everyone. They require time, patience, daily interaction, special diets, and lots of attention. People looking for quiet, low-maintenance pets are often surprised by how demanding these tiny animals can become. And there's another thing many beginners don't realize. Sugar gliders communicate constantly through sounds, body language, and scent. Some noises are soft and comforting, while others can sound surprisingly strange or loud for such tiny animals. One famous sound they make is called crabbing. It sounds almost like a tiny angry machine. And the first time new owners hear it, they usually panic. But often, it simply means the sugar glider feels scared or uncertain. Over time though, many sugar gliders become calmer and more trusting through gentle interaction. Especially when owners spend time carrying them in bonding pouches close to the body, which helps the animal recognize scent, voice, and warmth. And honestly, that bonding process is one of the biggest reasons people fall in love with them. Because slowly earning the trust of such a tiny nervous animal feels incredibly rewarding. But sadly, social media sometimes creates unrealistic expectations about sugar gliders. People see cute short clips online and assume they are easy pets, without seeing the cleaning, feeding, noise, responsibility, and emotional care happening behind the scenes. And this matters because sugar gliders are living creatures, not accessories or toys. They depend completely on their owners for safety, health, stimulation, and emotional comfort. So the next time you see a sugar glider sleeping inside someone's hoodie or jumping happily onto their shoulder, remember this. You are not just looking at a cute exotic animal. You are looking at one of the most social and emotionally attached small pets in the exotic animal world. A tiny creature that wants warmth, trust, comfort, and connection. And honestly, that may be exactly why so many people fall in love with them. Sparkle's paw prints.